In this screencast, we're going to learn about conditionals. Humans have to make decisions all the time in order to function. How do we do this? Well, the way we do that is we gather information and we use that information to make a decision. Consider something simple like, should I wear pants or shorts today? You need to gather information. Most likely, you need to know what the temperature is or what the forecast high is, and then you choose. You probably just have a simple rule in your head, such as if the forecast high is greater than 70 degrees Fahrenheit, wear shorts. Otherwise, wear pants. You might take into account something like rain. This little bit of logic is called a conditional, and it's an if-else statement. You're going to be using it a lot in your SNAP programs to make them perform in much more interesting and complicated ways. The statements can be nested and chained, as we do all the time when we're making more complicated decisions. That decision was just a really simple one for illustration. Let's go to SNAP. So we're going to learn about conditionals, and we're going to actually do a little program here, just a couple of simple ones to show you how conditionals work. When you get into SNAP, the first thing you need to do is go over to the control button over here, something that you haven't used yet. Each one of these different panels or modules is colored differently, and the control one should be a yellow color. And there's an if down here. We're going to drag the if over to our program. And you'll note that there's sort of a little six-sided shape here, and that's telling you that you need to put in something there that can be evaluated, and it needs to be evaluated either true or false. So if something, like when we talked about in the video, if the temperature forecast is greater than 70 today, we're not going to be able to do that in our program here, but just if something, then we're going to do something. So in our case, we're going to move over to sensing, which is another thing we haven't looked at yet, and we're going to pick a really simple sensor, and you'll note that these are all shaped whether or not they're going to fit in there. So these ones that are all six-sided could fit in there. We're going to look specifically at this one. If the space key is pressed, and then what are we going to do if the space key is pressed? Well, let's just do something simple just to illustrate it right now. If the space key is pressed, we're going to move the cursor. So if you click on this program, it'll evaluate it, and nothing seems to happen, but that's because I'm not holding down the space key. So if I hold down the space key when I click on it, you'll note that the little sprite over in the corner is moving. What if we want to do something much more interesting than this? Well, let's just start. We're just trying to illustrate what this does. So what if we want to do something when the condition is true and something else if it's false? Perhaps we could even do something like draw something on the screen. So let's do that. Let's put our pen down, because we can't draw if our pen's not down. And then we're going to change, go back to the control panel, and we're going to change from an if statement to this other one here that says if and else. And we're going to do the exact same thing. If the space key is pressed, we're going to move, get rid of the other one, attach it to the pen down program. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to move the move to the end, because we want to move in either case, but what we want to do is change the color. So if you're holding down the space key, we're going to set the color to one thing, for example, just red. And if you're not holding it down, we're going to set it to, let's call it blue. And let's just see what happens. Let's reset our little pointer first. I can drag in this other motion one, go to 0, 0, and click on it, and that'll put us back in the center, so it's a reset. And then we can click this. It'll put the pen down, and you'll note that since the space key is not down, it's drawing in blue. And now I'm going to hold down the space key, and it switches to red, and we can just go back and forth. Hopefully you can see the difference between those two, so you can tell that you can use this if with any sort of sensing. So we'll switch over to the sensing. There are a variety of sensors, and we're going to talk about the sensors in a different screencast. For now, just use the if and the if else to be able to control your program and to be able to do something more interesting with your program. Conditionals and if-else are quite powerful, and you will be using them throughout the semester to make your programs more interesting and more complicated. Go have fun with it.